Hi guys, welcome back to the YFC kitchen. You may notice our background looks a little different today, but hopefully it doesn't throw you off too much. We're still gonna cook and show you how to make a delicious crock pot dinner. We are making 5-can chili today. It also includes some root beer. If you're part of Hub Harvest, then you've gotten all these supplies already. But if you're not part of Hub Harvest, feel free to still follow along. If you're interested in learning more about this program, reach out to us at programs@yfclondon.com or check out our Facebook and Instagram pages. So we're going to get started. The first thing that we're doing, I'm almost done. Catherine looks like she's done.
Yeah.
We're going to chop up an onion. So I'm going to finish chopping up my onion. And then, Catherine, maybe you can explain what they're doing next.
Yeah. What are they doing next?
It's a great question.
Okay.
I don't actually know.
So the recipe says to saute your onions. We're not doing that because we're putting them in a crock pot. You can do it. It really just adds flavor. But because of the amount of time that a crock pot will cook for, it actually, it'll cook them soft, and you don't really have to worry about it unless you really like the butter flavor on your onions or something.
Ready.
Okay.
So, something else we already did before we started. Whoa, those onions are making me cry.
I told you.
They're really strong. Okay. Whew, I'm actually just going to do this. Okay. So, we don't have a sink where we're filming this, so we've already done the sink thing. But basically, when you get your beans, there's a can of black beans and a can of red kidney beans. Honestly, you could use whatever beans you like. I think, Catherine, you substituted one of yours for some other beans. Yeah. So you open your cans of beans, you pour them into a colander, and then you just running like cold water into your beans and stir them around with your hand, or you can use a spoon. And you're basically just stirring the beans through water until you don't see any weird bubbles anymore, because there's just preservatives and stuff in canned things to keep them preserved. And we don't necessarily want to eat all of that. So you just rinse all that out and then have them ready to go. So we're going to add our 2 cans of beans and our onion into our crock pot. And again, like Catherine said, you could always saute these ahead of time, or you can just put them in raw. We used 1 big onion, but you could also use 2 smaller onions. Looks like it's about 2 cups worth of onion. Oh my goodness, those onions are really juicy. Wow. I'm going to turn my board upside down because juices are too much for me. Okay, and then we're going to dump our beans. So I'm using black beans and red kidney beans. Catherine's using another kind. Whatever beans you like. Just as long as it's not the baked beans, the sweet brown beans. You don't want to use those.
Those would be really gross.
You just want plain, normal, regular old beans. Oh my goodness, I'm dying. Yeah.
In your chili.
Yeah, no thank you.
And add some root beer in there for good.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. I'm dying.
Okay.
I can't.
Add your tomatoes.
Okay, now we're adding a can of diced tomatoes. I opened all the tomatoes I have.
Okay, cool.
We can maybe split. We're going to use a little extra tomatoes in ours, I guess.
I can't get into this can.
I gave you you have a spoon or a knife.
I have a knife.
So
please, if you use a knife to get into your cans because they didn't cut all the way around, be really careful.
Yeah. So we're using diced tomatoes. It's literally just a can of pre-cut tomatoes. I suppose you could use whole, but you probably wouldn't like that. It would be kind of gross. But if that's all you have, that's totally fine too. All right, so we'll do a little extra. Ooh, so liquidy.
I know.
Do you want more?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, here you go. Okay. All right. Next, we're going to put in a can of chipotle peppers. They look like this. If you don't like spicy, you could leave this part out. It's up to you. Or you could just put a pinch of chili powder instead if you just want a little kick, but you don't want it too spicy. Whatever. But that's what we're using. Next, we're going to add 12 ounces of root beer. So we just have bottles, but you could also just use 1 normal can. That's about the right amount. But because we have bottles, actually I may not open this.
Yeah, there's probably enough in this one.
Because we just have bottles, we're going to measure our 12 ounces, but you could just get a can from the corner store and use that just fine.
If you're not sure and you don't have any way to measure ounces, it's about 1.5 cups.
Perfect. Good to know.
I just know because my measuring cup says it.
Yeah.
I don't just know these things off the top of my head. No.
Yeah, we did.
No, I literally have to Google things I already know, so.
Ooh, makes a fuzzy sound. Fuzzy. And then 2 teaspoons of salt. You put
I'm like, where are the teaspoons?
Yes, I gave us 2 teaspoons.
There it is. 2?
2.
Okay.
So salt is helpful for bringing out flavor in things. It's also helpful for helping the acid break down your items. But if you use too much, then it'll overpower your flavors. So you just want to make sure you just use teaspoons. Next, we've got 2 teaspoons of garlic powder. Oh, I've got the garlic powder.
You do.
Okay. So this is black garlic. I don't really know the difference. Like, what's the difference flavor-wise, Catherine, between black garlic and regular garlic?
I don't really know flavor-wise, but I can't remember what they do to black garlic, but there's like, it's basically normal garlic and they do something to it. I can't remember.
Oh.
Like, they do not paint it.
They just take a Sharpie.
They don't like
it.
paint food. The sad part is I only know about black garlic because of a TV show.
Bob's Burgers.
Yeah, Bob's Burgers. I was telling my mom we had a bunch of donated black garlic to YFC, and she's like, Bob's Burgers.
Hilarious.
My measuring spoon's stupid.
I know, I had to kind of like shake it in. And
On the plus side, with garlic, if you add a little extra, it's not gonna like destroy your food.
Yeah. And then last but not least, we're gonna add 2
That's
teaspoons
not the right
of
lid.
cumin. Oh yeah.
I'm like, I can't find the lid.
We're adding 2 teaspoons of cumin. And then the other thing I'm gonna do, I don't know if this is necessary, but I'm gonna like stir mine together just cause like the seasonings are kind of all crowded on the top, and I want it to, it'll cook evenly by the sake of the fact that it's a crock pot, and it'll cook for like, what would you do, like 6 hours on low?
I would go 6 to 8 on low or 4 to 6 on high.
Yeah.
With something like chili, as long as it's not starting to burn, you can cook it for a really long time.
Okay. And if people wanted to add in meat to this, like, would you change the cook time or the?
No, I would leave it the same. Like, you can add, so if you like meat and don't really like the idea of vegetarian chili, you can add, like, you can just thaw some, like, ground beef or any ground meat and just, I would cook it up first and then put it in with the rest of your ingredients. And yeah, you should be able to cook it the same amount of time. The meat really doesn't affect that.
Cool. Yeah, I was just gonna note, because I just realized that our chipotle peppers are for flavoring only. You could just take the whole pepper out. You could eat it if you want, but it's gonna be pretty spicy, I think. So you may not want to eat the peppers at the end of your day. Notice now that they're entire whole peppers.
Yeah. I think the other thing too is, like, if you find it super thin, like sometimes the liquids in the tomatoes and even the root beer could cause it to be a little thinner. So if you find that, you can add just a little can of tomato paste and it'll like
good idea.
thicken it up to a better consistency.
Cool. Well, that's it. So we're gonna put our crock pots on low for 6 to 8 hours ish. You'd always cook it a little longer if you wanted to, or you put it on high if you're in a rush. Do it for like 4 or 5 hours on high. And we hope you enjoyed this recipe. As always, if you have any questions or you want to substitute something or you're missing something, please feel free to reach out to us and we will do our best to resource you and help you out. So enjoy your chili, have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week. Bye.